This is a sports catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho there, it's Jeff Coder Diamond. Welcome you to the Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, October the 6th, 2010, the Reds took on the Phillies. But the most important thing was Doc Holliday and his no-no. It was a great moment, for sure. And everyone was joyous in the fact that he had done it. He had done this crazy thing and all that. So anyhow, a background on this game is that the Reds and Phillies were in the playoffs. The Reds were the NL Central champions and the Phillies were the NL East champions. So those two would battle it out. And see what they could do in the best of 5 first round. So game 1 happened on Wednesday, October 6, 2010 at 5 local time. Of course, 5 Eastern time for me. And the Reds were coming into town. 46,000 fans packed Citizens Bank Park to see if the Phillies could go back to the World Series for the 3rd straight year. In 2008, they were the World Series champions, taking care of the Tampa Bay Rays. And in 2009, they went to the finals but lost in Game 6 thanks to Hideki Matsui's Game 6 performance. So the Phillies were coy about things and were hoping to do well. They had 97 wins, the Reds had 91. So the Reds had the starting lineup. This was their starting lineup. The Reds had Brandon Phillips at second base, very good player from the Indians, and the Expos had him at one time but traded him to Cleveland. Orlando Cabrera at shortstop, former Expo and Red Sox. Joey Votto, the pride of Toronto, at first base. Scott Rowland, former Blue Jay and Philly, at third base. Johnny Gomes, former Devil Ray, at left. Jay Bruce, a great right fielder. Drew Stubbs in center. Ramon Hernandez catching, former Padre, and Edinson Falquez at the bump. Phillies had Jimmy Rollins at short, Shane Victorino in center, Chase Utley at second, Ryan Howard at first, Jason Worth, former Blue Jay, at right field, former Mariner Raul Ibanez in left, Carlos Ruiz catching, Wilson Valdez playing third, and Roy Halladay being the pitcher. This was actually the first year Roy Halladay pitched for the Phillies. After many years with the Blue Jays, he left for the Phillies in a trade. And I can't remember the principals coming back to Toronto. But regardless of that, Toronto faltered without Doc Holliday. In fact, Doc Holliday was supposed to make an appearance for the Phillies in Toronto, as interleague would have happened. But because Toronto was hosting the G20 summit and there were lots of riots and lots of pepper spray in the air, they announced that the Jays would face the Phillies in Philadelphia, but the Jays would be the home team by proxy. Holliday in the 2010 season actually did something massive. He pitched a perfect game. In a game against the Marlins in Florida, and on the same day as Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, which the Phillies and the Flyers, lost to the Hawks. Doc did perfect. He 27 up, 27 down. Nobody got on base for the Marlins, and Holliday became the second Philly after Jim Bunning on Father's Day 1964 to throw a perfect game. So people wanted to see Holliday in the playoffs, and the Blue Jays had ample time. But when you play in the same division as the Blue Jays and the Yankees and the Red Sox, things are bad. It's worth noting that when I watched the replay of this on YouTube, I think Dennis Eckersley was the color commentator. I can't remember who it was. But he said, well, they were, Brian Anderson, the play-by-play guy, was talking about the Scott Rowland trade and then the trade for Edwin Encarnacion, and saying that the Blue Jays may have made a big mistake. But that Scott Rowland trade from Toronto to Cincy actually paid off for the Blue Jays, as Edwin Encarnacion just basically flew on the radar, off the radar. So Holliday got Phillips to ground out, Cabrera to fly out, and Votto to ground out to start the first inning. In the bottom of the first, Chase Utley hit a sac fly to score Victorino. In the second inning, Rollins struck out swinging, Gomes grounded out, Jay Bruce grounded out. Phillies went to work offensively in the bottom of the second. Doc Holliday himself, on the first pitch, hit a single to score Carlos Ruiz, who ran all the way from second base. So Holliday had an RBI single. Shane Victorino would hit a single to score Wilson Valdez and Holliday. The Reds were fuming. They were down 4-0 and decided to get rid of Falcus and put Travis Wood in to pitch. In the top of the third, Stubbs popped up, Hernandez grounded out, Wood lined out. In the top of the fourth, Phillips struck out, Cabrera struck out, Votto grounded out. In the top of the fifth, Rowland struck out, Gomes struck out, and Jay Bruce worked a payoff pitch walk from Holliday. Drew Stubbs would ground out. So on a 3-2 pitch, Bruce walked. If it was strike 3, that would have been huge. In the top of the sixth, Ramon Hernandez flew out, and then Juan Francisco came in to pinch hit for Wood. Grounded out, Phillips flew out. Logan Odrosek would come to the plate, or be the pitcher for the Reds. In the top of the seventh, Cabrera grounded out, Votto grounded out, Rowland struck out swinging. Bill Bray came in for the Reds in the seventh. No damage though. Johnny Gomes struck out, Jay Bruce grounded out, Drew Stubbs struck out. After Howard, Worth, and Ibanez went down swinging in the bottom of the eighth, it was Holliday now facing 8-9-1. He had a no-hitter going. The only blip on his game score was the walk to Bruce in the fifth inning. Other than that, he was throwing a perfection. Hernandez popped up to second base. And then Miguel Cairo, a pretty good pinch hitter, came in for the pitcher. And on a 2-2 pitch, Cairo popped up to third base, but Valdez made the catch in foul territory. And then on an 0-2 pitch, Brandon Phillips had a soft dribbler, which Carlos Ruiz had time and threw to first base, and Roy Halladay had thrown a no-hitter, the second in postseason history after Don Larson's in 1956, but still, it was unbelievable. He had thrown a no-hitter, and Philly went bananas, and a lot of teams did. I bet you Blue Jay fans were happy for Halladay. Of course, I was sickened by Halladay leaving the Blue Jays, but that's just me. Anyway, it was actually the first time I got to witness a no-hitter live on TV. Like, I've always missed it. And all that. I had never seen a no-hitter on TV. But yeah, Roy Halladay threw the no-hitter, and that was just amazing what he could have done for the Phillies. And all that. The Phillies would sweep the Reds in that 3-game LDS, in the LDS. They won Game 3 2-0. Unfortunately, the Giants came in at the right time and stunk up the Phillies' chances for a third World Series title in a row. First appearance in a row, I should say. The Giants went on to win the 2010 championship against the Rangers, against Texas. But yeah, Philly looked good. Doc Holliday was a legend in Philadelphia, so much so they've retired as number 34 with the team. Rightfully so, I must say. Yeah, so maybe Doc Holliday deserved to be with the Phillies and all that. The Blue Jays kept prodding along. But anyway, Doc Holliday threw a no-hitter in the postseason, and you can't beat that. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond.